were no bodies.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. How are you today?
Hi, Ms. Lane. How are you? And
Great.
To your guests. Quick, I guess, example, something, food for thought. First of all, the question that the gentleman just asked, and this entire dialogue about the entire processes that happened September 11, 2001, are difficult enough, in my opinion, in a vacuum or in a perfect society to consider all those things. But considering the political climate and other things, that sort of adds, unfortunately, a lot of elements that are, well, just with that word, unfortunate, I have to consider other things because of the political climate. That being said, since I was a child, and this conversation was a lot easier for me when I was a child, I thought more open-mindedly, if you will. Mm-hmm. Now, I still retain a lot of that, and that's where my energy comes from. At 55, I'm getting younger and stronger every day. But really quickly, I just want to make this point. When I've considered since childhood how the pyramids were built, and we've considered those different documentaries over a period of 30, 40 years since I've looked at that, and this situation with the World Trade Center, and I consider what I've always thought of as a child as unlimited energy that is available that may be in neither time nor space, if you will. Quick example is when a plane flies. They found during jet technology, because of the war or whatever process, that when you turned or veered off of your course, a direct course, depending on your speed, G-force was increased, right? Now, if we call that energy, in theory, there is unlimited energy depending on your speed and direction. If you could go straight ahead at 1,000 miles an hour, stop on a dime and go the back way, whatever's in that plane would be crushed because of the G-force. So my perspective, again, food for thought, is I've always considered that there was some way to direct unlimited energy to do things, move things. And again, I consider the pyramids. Why can't we do that? Maybe we can. Maybe we don't know the technique. But do you understand where I'm going with this? I see and I've felt this. I can't explain it in the interest of time so other folks can get on. But there is something that I've always considered, and you are touching upon a lot of it, unlimited energy which can be directed if you know how. That's easy to say that. But do you understand what I'm saying? There's unlimited energy available in the universe.
Sure. I think the best person to comment on that would be John, if John's still there. John?
Very good. John Hutchison.
Well, there's been a lot of research into the zero-point energy, tapping into it and using it to power systems and that. I mean, a cubic foot of that is equal to powering the Earth's energy needs for 100 years. And actually, it's called the Casimir effect. If people want to search out that type of information, it goes way, way back in time. And already there's a patent on a device in 1996 for a collection of zero-point energy to be used. And oddly enough, and interestingly enough, IBM has bought up all the patent rights to that device. And I've had my own experiences with building these machines myself when they would suddenly go up to 75,000 volts and turn into a dangerous situation.
Yeah. I was just sort of add to the tail end of that a person that John and I both know, Nick Cook, he has looked at this zero-point energy and how it ties into the anti-gravity and levitation effects. And going back to the pyramids, who knows, what they had then? Did they have access to this sort of technology? Another interesting topic for people just to quickly look at is Coral Castle in Florida, which was built by Edward Leeds Scarlin. That's a very interesting story, which I won't dwell on here, but a lot of people have linked that with the construction of the pyramids. I don't know if you've heard about that, John.
Oh yes, I have, actually.
Sure.
That was a topic brought up on Coast to Coast, and also a lady friend of mine was giving me information on it. Very intriguing place, really fascinating.
Yeah. And maybe we can go to the next caller.
Good morning, caller. How are you today?
Hey, what's going on, Ambrose?
Hey, now. What are your questions?
I was going to just go on one of the earlier callers. Just the way that I see life, man, is, if he really knew the true nature of reality and the world that he living around you would really know. In reality, man, it's really no such thing as science fiction, really.
That's
anyway, y'all have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you. I think that's a very good point.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, hello.
You're on.
I just wanted to make a comment that, how you doing, Ambrose?
Oh, pretty good.
Listen, all this I'm hearing, I've heard this on Art Bell, and I'm just going to tell the callers in D.C. that if you want to know the covert, underhanded stuff that the government's doing, the Air Force and all that, to listen to Art Bell. But what I wanted to also say is that once the government unveils all of their hidden, stuff, we will still be slaves. And we will still be under the thumb of this technology. So I just, saying, yes, it's amazing, but we need to have our own science kits so we can make our own spaceships and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I had a question in regards to the topic this morning as far as the concept that was delineated earlier. Is that related to continuous electron beam acceleration, to the metallurgy assay of the steel understructure of the building? And 3, could you elucidate on the cooling effect that you mentioned with the cloud of dust in the aftermath, or do you think that may have just been the internal temperature of the building being amplified at the ground level? Those are my questions.
Well, I don't know really how to answer that in terms of the technical aspects of the electron beam or technology that you referred to. It's not something I can answer. Maybe John.
Judy and Hutchison.
John would like to comment, and Judy then maybe about the dust cloud. John?
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I thought Judy was going to... Well, there's particle beam weaponry and various types.
Speak up a little louder.
Yeah, I guess the line is fading here a bit. There is a lot of research into particle beam weaponry, directed energy weapons, as well as devices to turn material into dust. And it's interesting about the cloud, and there's been reports in scientific data on temperature drops and this kind of effects in that.
Okay.
I have it in writing and documentation form.
Oh, that you have seen that before?
I've come across that literature in books, and when we test our samples, when you run in there right away and perhaps grab it, it's like ice cold.
Wow.
Yes, no heat involved.
I was wondering if some of the energy comes out of the object, and that's why it cools.
A valid point. It's like scientists I know who mentioned that when a woman lifts a car off her child, let's say, the temperature drops all around her. That's getting into the parapsychological stuff, which is a lot of research is going on right now into that region of parapsychology and energy.
Wow.
So
that's where the energy might be coming from, is the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm. That's possible.
Neat.
I've come across that literature on the drop in temperature in various topics like that. And I felt it myself, like a cold, cold wind. And oddly enough, we used to keep, in the hot summer, keep cool by this cold wind.
Ooh. I have read some of the transcripts of the first responders who, when the buildings went away, have described their temperature being cooler.
That's interesting. And then I would fall in the categories of some of the researchers I know that are doing interesting things and taking measurements in that.
It's interesting, the similarities and consistencies.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Okay, so maybe we can go to the next caller.
Good morning.
Hello?
You're on.
Oh, okay. How you doing, everybody?
Fine, thank you. Great.
Well, my comment is this. We know that the Pentagon is the one agency, if you want to call that, in the government that never seems to have its budget cut, yet they're the one agency that can't ever account for how all the money is being spent. So maybe we know where it's going now.